sold before, and with the people that are already in your network or are just joining your network. Was what I hear all the time when I talk to my clients, the questions that I have is, how does this thing work, right? So, and how do we chat people out? What are we going to message? What's the messaging? What's the sequence? How do we move a person from connection or like a new connection to a lead and then to a client? Yes, and and many people do not get started at all because they're afraid. They're afraid because they don't want to come across as that sleazy car salesman car salesperson, or they don't know what to write, or they are annoyed themselves. Yes, that when they connect with somebody on LinkedIn, and you probably have that experience as well, right? So who here has connected with somebody on LinkedIn, and then 5 minutes later you get a cold pitch? Yes? Give me a yes to the chat box so that I see it. Yes. Do we love it? No. But here's the point. Let me ask another question. Do we hate it? Yes? Do we hate it? Yes? Okay. If you hate it, then you might want to think about if LinkedIn is your right platform. Yes? Because LinkedIn is a platform to connect with people for business opportunities. Right? And so you should expect that people hit you up and that people make you proposals and that people want to work for. That's what it's there for. If you hate it, then energetically, you will not attract the clients that you want either. Yes. So the second reason why you want to read all of that is because you can even learn from the worst sales pitches. Yes, at least you know what not to do. Okay, and then study it. It's my favorite hobbies to study the approaches. Sometimes even go along with it just to see it. So, but today we're going to have a better approach where we are selling without selling. Yes, or let's put it, we are selling without being pushy. Yes, I think that's what we resent is the pushiness. And by the way, who here has ever gone to a store and you wanted to buy something rather complex, and you were very super grateful for that one salesperson who gave you all the information and guided you through the process, and you felt wow. Yes, so that's what we're going to do here today with on LinkedIn. It works, by the way, on other platforms as well. The mechanics are a little bit different, and but the psychology is the same, right? You hear people always say, oh, LinkedIn has a totally different psychology than Facebook and Instagram and TikTok. Not true, right? Not true. We will talk a lot about dating today. Yes. Again, I'm happily married. I'm not in the market, but people can relate. Yes. But before we go there, let's look at who we are dealing with on LinkedIn. So when you go on LinkedIn, even Facebook, right? So it's not limited to LinkedIn, but we're talking about LinkedIn today. You have 4 types of clients, right? The biggest group of clients, by the way, that's also true for your CRM. Who has a sales CRM? Yeah, cool, good, right? Same thing. I bet you that the vast majority of people are names that are in your database you know nothing about. Yes? You don't know who they are. You don't know why they're there. You don't know why they're connected with you. They don't even know who you are, right? So you cannot sell to those people. That's what I'm telling you. So your job here is to build. Here comes my German accent. Familiarity, familiarity with you and your brand. That's why posting is so important. That's when Scott introduced me earlier. Said, "Yeah, I see all those posts." Yes, they read it. They may not interact with you, but they see you, right? So build familiarity with your brand and get your name and get to know your audience. That's number one. But you cannot sell to them. Number two, the second larger group is this group here. I need blue for this group, okay? And these are what we call cold leads, yes? They're cold because they know who you are. They are problem aware, so they may know that they have a problem. They know of you, but not enough. So cold leads are skeptical. Yes, they're skeptical because they expect exactly what we said before, right? They said, I'm going to connect with that person, and 5 minutes later, I will get a sales pitch. Yes. So then they don't know if you're good enough, if you're not a bearded liar or whatever, right? So they're skeptical. The third largest group is this group here in the middle, which are warm leads. And warm leads, they are curious. So they have known you for a while. They have followed you for a while. They've seen your posts. They may have seen your videos. And now they are at that point where they go, I would like to know more. Yes, it's interesting. I'm not ready to buy yet, but I'd like to know more. And then lastly, you have the hot leads. And the hot leads, they are ready to buy. Yes, does that make sense? So as you move people along along this progression, so again, you build familiarity first. Then, for example, for the cold leads, that's why it's so important that you have some kind of lead magnet or opt-in offer, whatever you call it. So there's typically a one-pager, which is simple, actionable, and easy to use, and moves them a step forward right away. Okay, so there, for example, will not come to a webinar like this, right, or workshop like this, because we haven't earned the respect yet or the credibility yet that they actually are willing to spend an hour with us. They don't know if that's worth their time. Do you know what I'm talking about? Who knows what I'm talking about? Give me a yes in the chat box so that I know that you're still here. It's awesome. So the warm leads, these are the ones that will go to webinars. Yes, because they've known you, they've seen your stuff. They're like, okay, great. I've got so much value from the post and the opt-ins and lead magnet, and now I would like to see what's more. Okay, yes, for Monica, Susan, Caroline, Christy, super, Kathy, Norma, Amanda. Thank you, Jim. Awesome. Thank you very much for your feedback. It's very helpful. So so then they come to the webinar, and the purpose of the webinar is to make them interested in your product so that they become hot leads. And hot leads, they are the ones that want an offer. Does it make sense so far? Does everybody follow? Give me a taco so that I know. So that's a little bit of the psychology that we're having there. All right. So what happens in most conversations when you just connect with somebody? They're typically still in this area here, yes? So they reluctantly maybe approve that or accept your connection request, and then they see. And then you jump to making an offer. It's too fast. It's like going on a date, going on a first date, and making a marriage proposal within 5 minutes. Awkward, yes. So there's a process, right? So when we date, let's go again. I haven't done this ever, but let's say we go on Tinder or Bumble or Match.com, depending how old you are. So the first thing that you do is you swipe. Yes, you're like look good, looking good, not good, look, and then you shortlist the people that you do like. Yes. Follow? So after that, that doesn't mean that you're ready yet to meet them, right? The next step is that you start a conversation. And women here on the call, you're like horses, right? If you've ever been around horses, they pick up on the slightest their insecurities and weirdness like crazy. And you women have that as well, yes? So, and when you feel there's some that guy is weird, you're not going to move that conversation forward, yes? True or false? Not different on LinkedIn. Yes. So the third one is true. Yes. Women, you ladies, thank you so much for your support. The next one is, so now you want to meet. Right? You have had a conversation like, it would be worthwhile to meet. And you will not go, hopefully not go, or have your first meeting in a restaurant for a 3-course or 5-course dinner, right? Because you might be sitting there trapped and thinking, how am I getting out of here? You know, so, right? You probably, I've seen some nodding heads, so you probably have been on those dates, yes? For the same reason, you know, people don't come to your webinars, yes? And especially when it's a small webinar, and then it's awkward for them to leave, right? So, and when after, so what you do is you have a coffee at Starbucks for 15 minutes or a quick drink that gives you the ability to disappear relatively fast when you have to. Yes. So, and then when that went well, you decide to go on a second date, and then you take it further. The second date then is a longer date. Yes. Making sense? Yeah. Is that how we date in the US? Or should be dating? Give me a yes or no. Yes, yes, Melanie. Thank you, Valerie. Yes, yes, yes. We are going to do the same thing on LinkedIn. Same philosophy. Or when you sell on Facebook, same philosophy. Sell on Instagram, same philosophy. Right? The mechanics and the tools are a little bit different, but once you have that down and you have implemented that successfully in LinkedIn, you can easily take that process and to any other platform. Okay, so let's talk about the communication flow here for a while. So what we're going to do in LinkedIn is first we need to connect with the right audience. Yes. So the number one mistake that my clients make when I meet with them is they do what LinkedIn tells them to do, which is they connect with their peers and their colleagues, yeah, and their work colleagues from like 20 years ago. And when you do that, you will never get your message to enough people that want to buy your service or could potentially buy your service. Your job is to be very, very disciplined and remove everybody from your LinkedIn profile who is not a potential client. And you only invite people that are potential clients. And that's why having an avatar, an ideal client profile is so important. Yes. So you unfriend for everybody. And then tell them, meet me on Facebook, right? Or follow me on Twitter, or follow me on Instagram, wherever your personal stuff is. So connect only with your clients. Yeah, that's a big move. I know. Charlene, I can tell you, I have unfriended it when I started the process, 4,000 people. Right? And my engagement, my sales success went up right away. A client of mine deleted everybody but 200 people and started to sell almost the next week. Okay, so get everybody who's not an ideal client, should not be in your network. So same thing, you go on a date, you're not inviting every woman that looks or man who looks good. Yes. So you have you have a checklist. You know exactly a little bit of what you want. You have some flexibility, but you do the same thing here. So you connect. Then what you do is after you connect, you engage. You engage them in a conversation. Yes. After you engage them, you qualify them. Whether or not you want to make sure that they're really a good client, good fit, and then we call it triage in my world. So triage call is a 10 minutes call. It's the equivalent of a coffee or a cocktail, and where you just want to figure out if that person is worth your while. And then here's one circle missing, and then you sell. Okay, so in the process, it looks like this. We have you, and we have them. And for you, what you do is here, you send a connection request, and they accept. Yes. So then you engage people by posting and by commenting on their posts, loving the posts, sharing the posts, providing value. And what they do then, we call this hand raisers. Okay. So they raise hands, meaning whenever they like your post, then they're signaling to you, hey, what you just wrote is interesting for me. And when they comment and they provide value, that's even better. Yes, and when they share it, that's even better. Make sense? So then after you post, then you qualify them through, we call it chat or messenger, right? So it's the messenger chat. And in the messenger chat, you, they're going to share. Not everybody, but those who share will share. And after sharing, now you have a 10 minutes conversation. And what you do here is you qualify, okay, and make a decision whether or not you want to move forward. And so they will also make the same decision. They will also qualify you. And then later on here, you make an offer and they buy. Does that make sense to everyone? If you have questions, why does this work? Is the question, why does this work? Rachel, unmute yourself and tell me what you want to know. I hear you. Yeah. Um, so not in my experience. So if you have 200 people who are exactly in your niche, right? So who need what you have to offer, and you post, they are most likely to interact with you and connect and comment and like. If you're connected with people that have nothing to do with what you offer, you will just not be seen. That's it. Yeah. So yeah. Because I just really want to communicate to the people that will actually buy from me. If you use LinkedIn as a networking event, fine, yeah. But just your message will not resonate as much with as many in your audience. There's also, and nobody knows how there is a downside to it, which is so nobody really knows how the algorithm works. Yes, so there's a lot of speculations, and we have like broad ideas and so on. But there's also a ratio, if like the number of contacts that you have versus those that are actually interacting with your content, and the better that ratio, the more likely you will be bumped up as well. Yeah. So, so that's that. If you have any questions, give me your email address or name, or contact me afterwards. I'd be happy to talk. But Scott gave me a time frame that I have to honor. Okay, cool. So okay, I have time afterwards. Yes. So as to lead generation flow, so that's another view on it. A simpler view on this would be is we connect and engage, then we qualify, and then we sell. Yes, it was like a very simplified view. In order, now we come to also a little bit back into the algorithm conversation. So there are a number of activities that you need to do every day. Yes. So, and Scott mentioned that earlier, that I post something almost every day. It's very rare that I don't. And these are the daily activities. Yes. So every day we are connecting with the right people. We are posting something. We are liking our audience's posts, and we comment on them when we can. So we are a part of the community because remember, we still need to build familiarity as well. Yes, makes sense? And people want to see us, and we need to be active in it. How that exactly ties in the algorithm, again, there's a lot of speculation. I've never looked at the algorithm. I just know it works. Okay, so then there are weekly activities, which is your email list. So the most effective part is your email list is the most important thing that you can ever build. Yes. So because LinkedIn can shut you down at any time if they want to, right? So I don't care what your political affiliation is, but they shut down the president of the United States on Twitter. They can do that with you in a heartbeat as well. Okay. So that's all I'm saying. And then once a month, that's the approach that we're going to use today. We have an event and we keep on inviting people to events. Okay. And we can invite them a number of times, invite them. And when we invite them to an event, so let's say you have an event on the 3 strategies to automate your whatever processes, and people register for this event. What are they telling you? That topic is important to me. Yes, that topic is important to me. I'd like to know more. And you have developed my trust. Yeah, I earned my trust that I actually register, raise my hands, and eventually show up. Challenge is this, that when you do events, most people, about like 25% of people show. Yes, and the vast majority is a no-show. Who has ever done an event and you had like 100 registrants and maybe 20 showed up? Yeah, almost all of you. Why is that? And of the 20, it's like one of them is Aunt Mary and an old colleague and a competitor who thinks you can steal some ideas from you, and others who want like were freeloaders, right? So who knows what I'm talking about? Very frustrating. And then what happens is like you work, you prepare the slides and all of that, and nobody shows up. Okay. So why is that? So these guys here are no shows because they are busy. Yes, they're producing, they're selling, they're getting stuff done. Yes, they don't have the time to come, or they wanted to come and then the client calls with an emergency, you will lose. Yes, it's that easy. So what if? But that also means that these people that are not showing are your best clients, your best prospects, because they're the ones that are working, they're the ones that are active, they're the ones that are selling, they're the ones that want to move their business or their career forward. Yes, making sense? So what if we could sell to these people without ever giving the webinar? And most people forget about that. They're relying on the webinar. I don't know about you, but I gave webinars, and the moment I started out, internet went down, or electricity was out in the entire block, right? Or my computer started to reboot for some reason. Things happen when you give webinars. Do you follow? Do you agree? Yes? Cool. So so what we're going to do is we're taking the yep agrees super been there. Yes, we all have, right? So here's what I've learned about successful people. Okay, and it's not from me. I learned this from Dan Sullivan, one of my coaches. And so when people start their businesses or their careers or wherever they are in life, and they have initial success, and then they start to plateau. Yes? Have you ever? We all have been there. And then they ask a question: how can I solve the problem? Yes, that's when they go to webinars, they read books, they even go to trainings or to conferences in order to learn. What they learn, though, it's hard. Yes, when you want to learn something new, and it looks, because pros they understand to make it look easy, but they worked hard on it. Yes, so it's very, very hard, and for that reason they realize, okay, so they continue to plateau. Has everybody ever here experienced that yourself? Yeah, right. We're reading the books, we try it, and when we fail, we get frustrated, and so on. So, and what Dan Sullivan told me is these successful people, they ask a different question. They don't ask how, but they ask who can do it for me. And that's why they are more successful. And because what I've learned is from that is that poor people spend or invest time to make money. Successful and rich people, they invest money to save time. And you're the person who saves them their time. Yes? So when somebody registers, you go to them, say, look, here, right? You register for my workshop. You don't really want to go to the workshop. You just want results and you want them faster and better than you could by yourself. Shall we talk? Different wording though, right? But that in essence is the message. Do you follow? So, and the way we do this, and I want you to think about that, is when you plan an event, there are 3 phases, right? So we have before the event, we have during the event, and we have after. And so the traditional way of doing an event or a webinar is this. Go ahead. Yes, thank you. Thank you. I frequently forget that. So there's a before, during, and after, okay? And and most people, what they are doing is this. They have a little bit of sales effort before. Yeah, so they send the information and the invitations to the events and so on, and maybe send them the newsletter and maybe put them into their email list and so on. And then there's high stress during the event. Yes, so you have people coming. People are not able to log in. Right? People don't have their microphones unmuted. People ask questions. Your computer breaks down. Then you prepared slides and thought for hours. What's the sequence? How do I pep up my slides so that they look good? And how do I now make the transition from I provide a lot of value to, hey guys, now I want your credit card. Yes, which is the most stressful part. Yes, who knows what I'm talking about? Yeah, right. So, and then again, what we said earlier, the people that show up is Aunt Mary, some of your colleagues, some peers, some freeloaders, and maybe 2 or 3 clients. Yes, yeah, all of that happens all the time. And then after when the workshop is over, it dies down. Yes, and then there's a little bit afterwards. Here's my replay. Would you like to book a call with me? What have you? Yes, follow. By the way, who here ever watches a replay? You do? Okay. I never do. I never watch any replays. Who is all the time? Never. All the time. Never. Okay. So like we have like 2 fronts here: tacos or pizzas. Yes. So let me ask the taco eaters. Taco eaters, are you? Is it yes or no? Taco eaters? Oh, okay. Yes. No. Yes. Okay. Yes. Depends. Okay, my theory was wrong. I thought the taco readers would be like more laid back. Okay, so okay. Anyway, so what I would like, what I'm submitting to you is that there's a better process, right? So where we have a lot of sales activity upfront. The moment somebody raises a hand, that is a prompt for us to initiate a conversation, right? So, and then you've done all the selling up front. So that's why you have 1 event in the month. You have 4 weeks, right? That generates leads for you for 4 weeks, not just on that one day when you give a workshop. Every time somebody registers, you initiate a conversation. And then during the workshop, totally relaxed. If only I don't want anybody to show up to my events, because that means I made it did a lousy job beforehand. Yes, ideally I would have liked to have sold everything before they show up. Make sense? Yes. So, and then when they show up, it's like 3 people show up, 4 people. It's a meeting amongst friends. I don't have any slides. I have my iPad, like you've seen it right now, and I show them some of the models, and I have a Q&A, everybody's happy, right? And I also tell them, look, if you're waiting for a sales pitch, you're not going to get any. If you want a sales pitch, then it's time to sign off right now, because I'm not going to sell you anything. Why? Because I've done it already, right? And then at the end, then there's a little bit of the people that you couldn't get, and then that's where you use your replays and some other activities in order to sell. By the way, if you download this worksheet for this class, you will see how that like an automated follow-up will work. And I'm not sharing that with you because I want to sell to you. I'm sharing that with you so that you have some examples. Yes. So here's the link, download it. And so the process is very much the same when I do webinars. Okay, so in order to make that easy for you, I have in this worksheet, there's an event like a workshop description that did not get it signed up, but it has not come. Okay, Valerie, I will same. What? I'm sorry. I did this yesterday for this purpose. So what I will do, yeah, exactly. So let me. I will check that. I think what happens is when the webinar is running, there's a wait. So, but you will. I got it. So I got it. See, it's coming. So it will come. I will check that later on. But there's a wait. Okay, then check your spam. Sorry. Cool. Awesome. Oh, thank you. Uh, Now it showed. Okay, awesome. Now, next week. I was like, I'm giving all this speech here, and then my own process doesn't work. Okay, so but here is in this worksheet is a script for you to that's like an example that you can use and a structure that you can use to post your event. Here's a description. You have the descriptions. Here's an example, right? So in this case, we get more consulting clients next quarter with the people who are already in your network. So there are different approaches to that, right? You can have what we call the woo without the boo. Yes. So get clients without selling, get clients without improve your relationship without looking stupid. I don't know what it is, right? So the woo without the boo, or the woo with what you already have. So get clients from LinkedIn with the people that you already know. Right, so that's kind of like the strategy, and then you give them three things that you're doing, and here at the end is a qualifier that I always have. It's like if you're an independent consultant already making 150K plus, who wants more clients without more grind and burning the midnight oil, register and get your workbook. So with that, I actively repel the people that I don't want. Number one is one of the top mistakes also when people on LinkedIn or social media, you want to be too nice. Yes, you got to actively repel the people that you don't want, and without insulting them. Yes, that would be a good example. So here, and so here is the exact structure that I used, broken down, and you can use this for yourself. Here's the woo without the boo. Here, lose weight without hunger, gain muscle without workout, get clients without selling. And the workshop name, here's a description, the description formula that you can use, and the description itself with the structure that you want to use here. Right, it's all in here, and then with your bio and all you need and your registration link. So you can use that. I don't need to go through this. It's not a workshop where we're actually going through it and I put you on the hot seat. Yes, we can. But when you download this workshop, you have that here available to you. Okay. So cool. That's it. So I hope that was helpful. And now I'm opening up the floor for questions.